Yay. All right, awesome. It says we're live. So welcome everybody. Sabrina Maurice here, coming to you live from down under in New Zealand. So kia ora. Hope this is finding you happy, healthy, wealthy, and well. And if you are catching this live, hashtag live and where you're coming in from, and then hashtag replay. I know quite a few of you who are watching this, like going to bed, like just, it's like a Netflix series of just empowered women. So yeah, I'm just loving that, hearing the feedback about this. And I'm super excited to have the amazing and dynamic Miss Angellee Koerner on with us today. She's a mom of five over in Arizona and has been married for 20 plus years. Oh, I don't know if it's plus, but 20 years. It feels like it, I'm sure. Anyway, you're also a life and relationship coach with the Hendricks Institute Body Awareness Methods. You're a survivor of cancer, also overcome and found healing after sexual abuse. And then you're just really, really passionate about helping people overcome their hurdles and living their life in the best possible way as far as health and wealth goes. So I would love for you to share a little bit about your backstory, and then, yeah, we'll just go back and forth.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me here, Sabrina. What a pleasure it is. I can't wait to come back in and see comments and connect with any of you that are on here with us. So make sure you put in the comments where you're coming in from or replay, because those of you that are on with us today, there's no accident. I specifically put out this prayer to the universe that I would be able to touch somebody today that was meant to hear my message, because I truly feel like what I went through and what we each go through is meant to bless other people's lives. We're meant to show and shine the light forward for other people that are struggling and that are in a similar place that we used to be. So I really hope that for anybody watching today. Being a mom of five has been the biggest blessing of my life. My kids are everything to me. And man, where could I even start? As far as getting into self-development, that and becoming a life and relationship coach, I really became passionate about that because of my own limiting beliefs and blocks, because of my sexual trauma. And I know Sabrina and I both have that in common. I was 7 years old when that started, and it went till I was about 14.
Wow.
So it went for quite a while. And that put in so many limiting beliefs that I carried around. Stories that I wasn't good enough, I was worthless. I had a lot of trouble with boundaries, with speaking to what was a yes for me, authentically claiming what I wanted in my life, and authentically knowing whether or not it was okay for me to say no. So boundaries were very blurry for me because that was blurred at such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of wiring of the brain that happens. It's called a trauma brain for a reason, because the untraumatized brain is actually physically wired differently. It's like the neural communication is different for trauma brains. And so we have a little bit more work to do in rewiring that brain. That's why it's so important. And I feel like you resonate with this to get a coach yourself. So that way, because I mean, I didn't do any of my own work on my own. Like I worked very closely with God, for one, like how you're talking about, and then secondarily within myself, but with a coach. Like I've never done this journey alone because I don't know that I could. There's a lot of rewiring that has to happen. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah, and that's why I essentially paid money. Wasn't necessarily like a one-on-one coach, but becoming a certified life and relationship coach helped me to learn the tools to apply to my own life and my relationship, because I saw those limiting beliefs very early on, prior to marriage and early on in marriage, that I was like, ooh, I've got to address these. How do I? And I wanted to learn, and I also saw other people that would struggle, and my heart was just like, oh, I want to empower other women.
Yeah.
And many times, if you don't know this, if your heart is speaking really loudly, like, oh, I really want to do this for somebody else, it's because you need it first.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that until I had my journey with cancer, with breast cancer. And what ended up happening is I felt like I had become a life and relationship coach. I had coached all these primarily women, run women's groups. And then when I had my diagnosis in 2016, I felt like God was saying, okay, now you've gone through training. Now it's time to utilize what you've learned here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really this year and a half, 2 year period where I just delved into everything I knew, and I just partnered with God, and I said, what do I need to do first?
Yeah.
Just show me the way. What can I do next? And
Mm.
I know you said that, you wanted me to share my 3 top like golden nuggets with you guys. And there's so much to a journey like this. But what I came to was, number one,
Yeah.
if you're not growing, you're dying. And I had this limiting belief that I was stuck, that for some reason, I always felt very stuck and caged in. And it was primarily because of my limiting beliefs. And I didn't see it at the time.
Mm.
But because of that trauma brain, I always saw myself as not being able to accomplish the things in my life that I wanted to, that
Wow.
I had to, that I didn't have the freedom to create that myself. I had to wait till I wasn't a mom with little kids. I had all these limiting beliefs that were literally holding me back.
Right.
And so if you're not growing, you're dying. And so I thought, well, I have to
So
wait until my
profound.
kids are older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to wait. I can't pursue those things.
Right.
Or I'm not old enough. People aren't going to respect me. I can't share these things.
Yeah.
So anytime I had overcome something, there was so many screaming limiting beliefs that held me back from feeling like I was really growing and
Mm.
expanding and sharing for quite a while.
Wow.
And so once I embraced that concept of, I have to be growing, I have to be expanding and sharing. And if I'm not, I will be in a state of dying, because nature tells us so as well. Like there's never a place of standstill in nature.
True.
Nature is always changing and evolving, right? So that there's
Yeah.
not change and growth. And even if it looks like it's wintertime in your season of life, it's still growth. It's still
Correct.
learning,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
And
So
I
being
wanted to
aware.
touch on something from earlier that you mentioned about partnering up with God. I've shared like in a post prior this week about how I went through a period of time where I was like actually angry at my creator, and I was just like not even angry, it was like enraged and grieving the fact of like, how could you have let this happen? So have you found yourself in that same kind of like position, and how did you get through it?
Yes, I did. I found actually a coach that was running a retreat, it's essentially a nature retreat that we went outside and we
Wow.
did a lot of breathing and meditation. And
Mm.
we were able to essentially have our own space and go through this incredible process
Wow.
that allowed me to feel safe enough to have those feelings come up. And I thought it would never end. I was so angry. There was so much anger and rage that came up.
Right.
And I thought, I hate you. I don't trust you. I hate you. And that's been my biggest thing, has been trust.
Yeah.
Trusting the universe and trusting God, that
Yeah.
they're
It's
there to
always got our back, always. And the universe is working in our favor. Actually, it craves being able to work with us and for us. And it's us that stops that connection. And you said you had gone to a retreat. My same turning point, as far as like with my source and my creator, was at a retreat outside. I was sitting alongside a riverbank, and there was these beautiful trees, and I was just surrounded by the most picturesque scene. And I was like, how could there not be? How could there not be a God? And if there's all of this, and just, I wrote this letter and everything. And so if you guys are seeing a theme, one of the themes is, yeah, retreats are amazing, and nature. Like you don't have to go to a retreat to experience it, but it accelerates and gives you kind of like a container in which to experience the growth that's possible, because we can go out in nature anytime, but there's something so sacred about coming together with other people and connecting heart to heart and working on the same goal of whatever it is, healing, growth, expansion, and all of that. So obviously we both are huge proponents because we've hosted retreats, and I believe you have one coming up in April. So anyway, I'll let you keep going and share your second tip.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So, anybody who's thinking about a retreat and you want to know more, the one next month
Yes.
is called chrysalis. So when the butterfly is going through that stage of transformation, they're in a chrysalis stage. And so definitely DM me or Sabrina, and we can give you more details
And
on
that's
that
in
and how you could.
April. And I wanted to ask, in where is it, in Utah?
In southern Utah, just outside of St. George, April 15th through the 17th.
Cool. All right. I'm just putting that in the thing, and I'll have you add maybe like a link or something, or just maybe not add a link, but somebody, if you're interested and this is calling to you guys, like seriously reach out to Miss Angellee, because this, I'm not even joking. We changed the trajectory of our lives because of retreats. Like they really do foster growth in a way that is just different than if you do it on your own. So yeah. And I love that it's called Chrysalis.
Yeah,
That's so
exactly.
cool. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. And then for me, mastering meditation and really mastering that brain-body connection was the other gold nugget that I could pass on to you. If you haven't embraced or learned or taken classes or hired a coach that can walk you through that process, and we will be doing a lot of that at the retreat in April, that I would say is my number one thing that allowed me to connect to my heart, to my body, to start to see that these thoughts and these beliefs weren't me.
Yeah.
I identified them as me. So I was able to disconnect from them and then also connect to my higher power and realize, oh my goodness, and he could help me sort through that and find who I truly was, and start to trust myself, because I didn't trust myself. Right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't say no to the people hurting me. My little girl inside of me was very enraged at me for not standing up for myself.
Yeah.
And so I had to regain that trust with my own self and claim my voice. And I did that primarily through meditation practices, along with the retreats.
And I'm finding like a theme amongst all of us. Everybody's like, meditate, like, and it could be any form of meditation, you guys, but, and you're going to find the one that suits you. So sometimes it's dancing. Sometimes it's just sitting in nature, by a tree, having your bare feet on the ground. It's called grounding, earthing. There's, just listening to music, journaling. Like there's so many different ways to meditate, but the point is to get still from all the things happening and just focus inward. And you brought up a really good point about connecting to the body. A lot of times survivors have a hard time doing that because the violation was to the body. And so bringing ourselves back to our home here on earth, our first home is this right here, this 3D experience, right? Like, and being able to really be fully present is going to give us opportunities to grow and manifest more powerfully, right? So, and to live a healthier life. Okay, I love that. Thank you. And I even wrote down inner child healing is so important, because there's a little person inside that's like either grieving, or usually it's actually comes across as anger, but it's actually grieving. It's just sad. It's just really hurt. And so, yeah, we need to make sure we're doing that work. Okay. What's your next tip, my dear?
So inner child was definitely a big piece with my meditation practice, was that inner child healing. And I have a meditation that's called Inner Child as well, that I really love.
Can you pop that in the chat, in the comments?
And it's from one of my great mentors that God sent me. The way that he showed up in my life was so incredible. And his name's Greg Anderson.
Oh, I love it.
And he's a phenomenal individual. And he created this, and it's beautiful, and it's based off of the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono.
Oh, love Ho'oponopono.
So great. So if you read the book on that, or anything about this, I'll pop the meditation in the link, and you guys just be prepared to cry and connect with that inner child in a way that you never have before, and get some really, really incredible insights into what you need to shift to go to that next level of self-love, which will in turn bless your life in so many ways.
It really does, because I was talking with Miss Prudence yesterday about tuning our frequency. And when we are vibrating at a frequency of love and self-love and joy and gratitude and abundance, then we actually can receive more of that in our life. But when we're vibrating at that lower, depressed sorrow, grief, and all of those things, it's not that we want to avoid those. We actually want to address them and move through them and then get to the higher state of being. Otherwise, we just keep bringing in more trauma drama stuff. And it's like, we need to be done with that, right? Like,
and that's the thing with meditation is it allows you to essentially wring out those stuck places in you. You know, you cannot deal with everything and get rid of it at once. It is a process, this layering process. And so meditation has been this process for me to be able to do one little bit at a time and get rid of, so I can raise my vibration, so that when you are doing visualization practices, I've studied a lot with Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's been my number one go-to guy on visualization and really connecting the brain body and bringing the ultimate future into the present moment, being able to embody that type of happiness right now. And so that you don't need that person to show up the way that you think they do. They're no longer
just
part of the equation for happiness. You now have complete control. And I wouldn't even say control, because that sounds like you're trying to make things, but it's a surrendering process. Where you are allowing that energy to flow to you and through you, and the liberation, because what is happening is you're actually allowing your heart to open finally. And you're also just becoming an observer of your thoughts, and you're noticing them and going, that's interesting. I wonder why I think that. And then you're letting those go and go, is that something I should pay attention to and serves me? Should I take some action on that? Or is that just something trying to really pull me off track? Is that from the past? Do I need to go do some journaling on that? What's coming there? There's so much there that I can't wait to share at the retreat we're doing in April.
And observer of thoughts is the bonus tip, you guys. All of that right there was a bonus golden nugget. So you'll want to write that down. Put a heart or a thumbs up if you're loving this. Because that was beautiful. So third tip. Want to hear it. Gotta go.
The other one is priority and self-management. So people think, oh my gosh, or people have asked me, okay, you have 5 kids, you are an entrepreneur, you run a health and wellness and coaching business. How do you do it? How do you make time for yourself and exercising and all the things? And it's really this self-management, self-care and priority and self-care management. So instead of time management, it's really getting in tune with what are your priorities? What do you currently at your life need to spend more time on, because there is areas of our life that we have to dissect, right? Whether that's business or, our spouse or children, finances. How much time are you spending in those areas? Our spirituality. You may have spent a lot of time on a certain area of life, and it doesn't need as much time to continue to maintain it. Because it's already in a condition. So you have to look at your life and go, okay, what's my priority right now? What needs more self-care? What needs more attention? And what can I do to maintain those other areas of life while giving more attention to this area, because I'm lacking.
And I'm loving all of this because of the fact that you not only are a mom, you also have your relationship. You also have your relationship with yourself. You lead a team, international team of entrepreneurs on top of this. So it's like, this is magical gold, guys. Like, if you are loving this, again, hearts galore, and writing it down, making yourself that priority. And giving the attention to the other, the areas that like might be weaker. So I believe there is even a life priority pie chart. And I'm going to dig it up and pop it into this chat, just because you can actually just see where you're at and where you're falling short or where you're overcompensating. And it's like, oh, this is where I need to adjust. So yes, thank you so much. Okay. So how can people get a hold of you? And do you have, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
So I'm a big Facebook fan. I've been on Facebook. That's how I've promoted my businesses for a very, very long time. So just Angellee Darger Koerner. I still have my maiden name in there. I have vacillated on whether I need to take that out or not, but essentially you'll see me here. Just go to my Facebook and direct message me. And that's the best way to connect with me there for sure.
Okay. And I believe that there is actually a call in the next 20 minutes that if anybody is interested in learning more about the project that Miss Angellee and I are working on, you can actually pop on, but just let Miss Angellee know so that way she can get you the code to hop on the Zoom, right? So, and then after that, the retreat as well, April 15th through the 17th, and just finding out more details about it. If this is calling to you, follow that prompting, trust and surrender, be a trender, and be like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta know what's going on and learn more about this community and what you have to offer. So, and then are you doing coaching at the moment where people can connect to you with that? How's that going?
Yes, so that has happened organically. I haven't been promoting it actively very, very much. So yes, I am, but it's been more of people saying, oh my gosh, thank you. And we get in conversation and they're like, do you work with people personally? And then I do.
That's pretty much, I mean, yeah, I'm still doing what I'm doing with my Facebook, utilizing it for the projects and for my coaching, but organically, it's like people are just being attracted to you because they can tell there's a difference. You're just vibrating at a different frequency. There's, you just glow. We glow differently than how we once did. And so my goal, your goal is to help others have that same glow for themselves and that freedom. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we hopped off?
I would just say that if you're looking at us and saying, oh my gosh, how can I overcome my challenges? Is it possible? And could I really, bless other people's lives as well? Does my life matter? Because sometimes when you're in a really dark space and you've been through things and it just seems like, I don't know if I can overcome. It seems too hard. I'm just stuck. It seems like I'm never gonna get out of this. I want you to know that absolutely, I have been in the darkest of places many times in my life where I felt like, I don't know if I want to go through this. I don't know if I want to overcome this because it's hard and it's painful and very uncomfortable. And I will say that those painful places really, really were the biggest gift for my learning and my growth and my expansion. And I truly believe that you can be that butterfly. You can go through that chrysalis experience and transform and then shine and be there to bless other people's lives. So whether it's your own children's lives or people around you that you love and care about, choose to go through it, choose to transform. It's your choice. None of us are victims, and that's a very powerful place to finally come to, and seeing yourself as a powerful creator that gets to choose something different. And as you overcome, the blessing that you'll be to other people's lives will be felt for many generations, I believe.
Yeah, I believe what we're doing is definitely generational work, breaking the ancestral stuff, as well as setting up our posterity for success and not having to repeat our wounding, that we've had to break through. So amen to you being a warrior of light, doing the work. Thank you very much. And for all of you on here who are doing the work as well, thank you. It's needed, it's wanted. And if you're not sure how to, you got some amazing people to connect with that can support you. I would say my biggest lesson was don't do it alone, ever. Like always have somebody there as a support, because we weren't meant to be alone. So yeah.
I would say that encompasses everything we've shared is don't try to figure this out alone.
Yeah.
Sounds like we have to consider it.
Yep. And all right, so we'll wrap up real quick. And if you guys are watching the replay and can't catch the live, reach out to Miss Angellee or I and just find out more about how you can catch up to what we're involved with, because we're finding ways to change lives and spread hope, and especially in this time in the world, it's really important. So anything else you want to share? I think we're good, right? Okay, love you.
Bye.
Thank you for being on. Bye.